Dear students, welcome back to Microcontroller and Embedded Systems. Last class we studied about embedded system. This class will continue that things. Difference between von Neumann architecture and Harvard architecture. What is the difference between von Neumann architecture and Harvard architecture? Here in a figure is clearly visible single shared bus in von Neumann architecture, single shared bus for instructions and data fetching, where in Harvard architecture separate buses for instructions and data fetching. If you object program to memory to CPU, separate data bus, CPU to data memory, separate data buses. So separate buses for instructions and data fetching available in Harvard architecture, where single shared bus for instructions and data fetching in von Neumann architecture. And in von Neumann architecture, chances for accidental corruption possible because program and data memory stored physically in the same chip, where in Harvard architecture no chances for accidental corruptions of program memory, as a data memory and program memory are stored in physically in different locations, so no chance for accidental corruption in Harvard architecture. Where in von Neumann architecture low performance compared to Harvard architectures, where in Harvard architecture easier to pipeline, so high performance can be achieved in comparatively high cost, wherein comparatively cheaper in von Neumann architecture. So we have studied these things. Next question is big Indian versus little Indian. If you observe this diagram very clearly, if it is visible, little Indian, what happens, byte 0 is stored in location 2000. Example, in this example, byte 1 is stored in 2001 location, byte 2 2002, byte 3 2003. So lower byte is stored in lower address. Byte 0 2000, byte 1 2001, higher byte is stored in higher addressing. So that is called little Indian. Where in big Indian, lower order of data byte is at the higher memory and higher order of the data byte at lower locations. Example, byte 3 is in 2000 location, where byte 2 is in 2001 location, byte 1 is 2002 location. Lower byte is stored in higher address. That's called big Indian. Then load and store architecture, load and store operations. If you observe this load and store bit, load and store, the memory access related to operations performed by the special instructions load and store. If the operand is specified as a memory location, the content of it is loaded to the register using the load instruction. The instruction store the data from specified register to memory location. The concept of load and store architecture with example we'll study now. Yeah, if you observe this diagram, it's very clearly visible that things. What happens here? Load R1 comma X, load R2 comma Y, add R3 comma R1 comma R2, store R3 comma Z, load R1 comma X. What is the content of X? That will go and sit in the place of R1. What load R2 comma Y? What is the content of Y that is stored in R2? Add R3 comma R1 comma R2. What is the output of R1 R2 goes to ALU, arithmetic logic unit. Their addition will be done and stored in R3. Now next is pipelining. Pipelining means any instruction contains fetch, decode, execute. Fetch means fetches the instructions from program memory or code memory. Decode means decode a part of decode the instruction to generate the necessary control signals. Execute means execute state reads the operands, perform ALU operations and store the result. When it does the simultaneously, that's called pipelining. Next is application specific weight. Wait for 2 seconds. Yeah, application specific integrated circuit, ASICS. What is ASICS? Application specific integrated circuit is microchip designed to perform a specific unique application, used as a replacement to conventional general purpose logic chips. Integrate several functions into a single chip, thereby reduces the system development costs. As a single chip, ASIC consumes very small area in the total system. ASICs can be prefabricated for special applications. It can custom fabricated by using the components from reusable building blocks library of particular customer applications. ASIC based on systems are profitably only for large volume commercial productions. Fabrications of ASIC requires non-refundable initial investment known as non-recurring engineering charges, NRE. So NRE cost will be the features. NRE cost will be the less complex, high performance, low power consumptions. These are all the ASICs Features. What are drawbacks? Inflexible design, updates require redesign, Deloitte system cannot be upgraded, complex and expensive development tool, mistakes in product developments are costlier. Second one is if non-recurring engineering charges will be given by third party, that is called application specific integrated circuit. Is now it will become ASSP, means this is application specific standard product, because application specific standard product, third party is paying the NRE costs, so openly available in the market. Next is a general purpose processor, GPP, versus application specific instruction set processor, ASIP. GPP is a processor designed for general computational tasks. GPP, processor running inside your laptop, desktop, Pentium 4, AMD. GPP contains arithmetic logic unit and control unit. ASIP is processor with architecture and instruction set optimized to specific domain application requirements like a network processing, automotive, telecom. These are all the examples. Next is programmable logic devices. Programmable logic devices. Logic devices are provide specific functions, including device interfacing, data communication, signal processing, data display, timings, and all. Now, logic devices can be classified into two categories. First one is fixed. Second one is programmable. PLDs offer customer a wide range of logic capacities, pitches, speed, voltage, characteristics. Here, the main very important thing is two things. First, field programmable gate array, FPGAs. Second one is complex programmable logic devices, CPLDs. Difference between the CPLDs and FPGAs. So here PLD is used for construction of CPLD, where logic blocks are used for construction of FPGA. Remember, FPGA is a field programmable gate array, where CPLDs are complex programmable logic devices. CPLD is non-volatile and less costly, where FPGA is volatile and costly. Delays are much predictable in CPLDs. Prediction delay is difficult in FPGA. Operating speed is low, suitable for control circuits. Operating speed is high, suitable for timing circuits, FPGA. CPLD has less flexibility, design capacity. FPGA has more flexibility as well as capacity. CPLD could work immediate after power up. FPGA could not work until the configuration is done. FPGAs are considered as fine grain devices. CPLDs are considered as coarse grain devices. Next, FPGAs versus ASICs. FPGA is reprogrammable integrated circuit, where ASIC is a unique type of integrated circuit meant for specific applications. FPGA is not efficient in terms of use of materials. ASICs waste very little material, recurring cost is low. FPGA is better than ASIC while building a low volume product circuit. Cost of ASIC is low only when it is produced in large quantity. FPGA is alternable. Once created, ASIC cannot no longer be altered. FPGAs are useful for researchers' development activities, where ASICs are not suitable for researchers because they are reconfigurable. Next, Next, what we do? Next, we will study in next class, COTS. Okay, all the best.